Welcome. So yesterday we touched on this. We're going back into it. Rexomar has added his voice to Killer Cut Blood.
Killer Cut.
Killer Cut Blood. Making all the waves is a $10 million statement. Even as I'm making it small, I'm shaking small because Charlie don't have that kind of money. So that $10 million statement has been making crazy waves since about 2-3 days ago. And legendary Ghanaian rapper Obrafo has sued Canadian rapper Drake over copyright infringement. Drake sampled Obrafo's Oyohene remix released in 2003, and nearly 2 years after the song was released, so Obrafo has sued Drake in a New York court to the tune of $10 million. Now, in the wake of that, Nimanche Ayikwe, Charlie Waters CEO, directly went on Twitter, tweeted at Drake and said, "Guy, this suit line, Kano, it is mine." You know what I mean? And in the wake of that, the chairman for the Ghana Music Rights Organization, GAMRO, Rexomar, in a Facebook post stated that Nimanche doesn't have a recorded or unrecorded song called Killer Cut. According to the veteran musician, the phrase Killer Cut forms part of Obrafo's recorded song, Oyohene. So that means Nimanche Ayikwe does not get to say that this is mine. I will start with you, Elorm, Beenie, because this is more your area. So you are an expert in the field.
Yeah.
What you say is what I will go with today. Tell me something. Let's start from the top before we get to Rexomar. Yeah. Do you think Drake is in the wrong for not getting Obrafo's approval before sampling his song? I'm told an email was sent, but then there was no clear go ahead or do not conversation. Yeah. But he still went ahead and used it. Could it be a miscommunication? Clearly, Drake did not send the email himself.
Yeah, obviously.
Could there have been some sort of miscommunication?
Okay, so let me take it from the top. There was an email. There's a break in communication as to them wanting to use the creative piece, but there was no conclusion, or they didn't finalize on anything. So why would Drake and their team still proceed and use that? Then the question I am asking myself and asking all of us is, could it be that there's somebody on his team who didn't communicate well and made it look like everything had been finalized with Obrafo and his team, or whoever is due that, before they proceeded to use it for the song? That's one question I'll ask. Number two, I know there's an agency in the US called Harry Fox Agency. Harry Fox Agency is the agency that actually takes charge of if you want to do artist song covers, use artist lyrics and all of that. The agency is there, and you actually pay a percentage, or you ascribe to a certain level of financial commitment, whereby if it's Natalia's song that I want to use lyrics from that, or even sample is her record, or do a song cover, you are due certain royalties.
Right.
So let's say you are due 5% of what I'm taking off you.
Right.
Sometimes it comes directly to you, or it comes through your publisher.
Right.
Could it also be that Drake and his team decided to do that for the song, whereby these things were done in a copyrighted system?
Right.
Because as of now, we've not heard from Drake's side.
Yeah.
Could that also be the case?
Right.
Then moving forward, now with what Rexomar said, I think he's making some reasonable statements.
Right.
But my problem is, we don't have a viable royalty system.
Right.
Is there, but it's not transparent enough for people to be catered for.
Right.
If I have released a song and Natalia was the one who was the backing vocalist, and you are the one who actually your voice is also in there, the industry allows a split sheet whereby everybody who has played a part, contributed to that song, must be catered for.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah. Right.
But we don't have that system working here.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you came to do an intro on my song
Yeah.
based on quote unquote relationships
yeah.
or friendships. Oh, let me just do it for Elorm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also take it as my intellectual property.
Yeah.
You've not been catered for. Fast forward 10, 20 years later, these things are coming up.
Yeah.
How do I quantify that to pay you back?
Yeah.
Especially when you also decided to, I'm just assuming, I'm not saying that is the case.
Yeah.
Yes. So what if you are also saying, oh, okay, now it be like some money they come, I for jump inside and talk my own song because it be my voice. You have a genuine case. It doesn't mean you have a genuine case, but at the time that these conversations or these decisions were being taken, it was just based on a friendly vibe, or let me just do it for you.
Yeah.
So as an industry, how do we deal with these things? Because if we should go deep into these things, there are so many songs that are having this problem.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with it?
Big question. I mean, the expert has already spoken.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'd add my 2 cents to it from the perspective of a fan of music, like generally. I think in other places, there's always that seriousness when it comes to the business of music.
Right.
You know, but what always I've realized that it comes to around here is that most, not even just music, but a lot of things are done on the basis of, you know, friendliness and comradeship.
Yeah.
You know, but when it gets to the crux of the matter and some of these things come up, that is when you start to see, you know, the big loopholes and the gaping hole that is in some of these stuff. And what Rexoma, me, like I said, I'm just looking at it from a fan's perspective. I'm not an expert actually. So the whole copyright thing, it confuses me a little bit, because from my armchair type of look, I'm seeing it like this. Okay, like you said, Manche does have a point, because maybe the first level of copyright is that you own your voice. You understand? So anyone who uses your voice has to, you know,
cater for
that. You know, there's some consideration that should come into play. But then we're also looking at the masters of the song. Who owns the masters of the song? What was the conversation when these things were being done? You understand? Because per my understanding, if there isn't any contract, then you are all co-owners, right? But if you decide to relinquish those rights, that is then that is when, you know, the mother company or whatever takes that full responsibility. Whoever owns the
copyright of that particular
exactly.
piece is the one who actually takes that.
Exactly. So for me, it's that there are lots of things. I think this conversation is very important, that, you know, we'll get to understand some of these things better. That even some of the artists who are coming up, will know, and then they'll be able to position themselves better. Because the truth about life or music or entertainment is that there's actually nothing new under the sun. You understand? Austin Kleon wrote, was still like an artist. You know, there's nothing new under the sun. Nas also said, you know, so there's literally that thing where people always borrow. But it is how you borrow and how you make it make sense that actually gives you a certain level of success at what you are doing. So out there was this situation with Miley Cyrus and Michael May. Miley Cyrus was sued over $300 million for using a phrase. I think we run things in her song Can't Stop That or something like that. You know, and it came down to what? It came down to determining how do I even put it? It came down to they settling out of court actually. So I think even when it comes to some of these suits and stuff like that, sometimes the suit is usually just a statement from the artist or whoever is involved to say that, hey, can't see me. You understand? Maybe there are a lot of processes that the person has taken and the person is not getting any resolution. So it's just like a threat. Come and see me. Because I think most of the suits, they do end up out of court and then they settle it. With a Miley Cyrus case like this, I think they settle about 1 point something. The guy sued for over 300 million. You understand? There are also some people who are crafty when it comes to some of those things. I think there was a Vanilla Ice situation where he said he bought the person's catalog. The person sued him. He went ahead and bought a person's catalog. I think Michael Jackson also did a similar thing with the Beatles. You understand?
You know the Marvin Gaye, Bruno Mars, Mark Ronson situation.
Yeah, and there's also a Marvin Gaye, Robin Thicke, and Pharrell situation.
But
you understand?
Even that, you know, the confusion for me with that is that it wasn't even lines. So they said it's some strings.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that blew my mind. And even it's not like the strings. No, it's some long.
Yeah, but that is what creates the
in
most
the song, in that whole
music.
song, Kofi, those strings they talk about is like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But they're like, and I was blown away, and they actually won the suit. You know, the estate of Marvin Gaye won the suit.
So I think one thing they've come to is there's something they call sheet music.
Right.
So when it comes to some of these cases, they use the sheet music. It's not just the sound; it's the music on paper also that they are using to determine, you know, what has actually been done. When it comes to the Robin Thicke and Pharrell against the Marvin Gaye's estate, I think they thought that it was just an issue of inspiration. You understand? That's why they allowed it to go to court like that. They could have just settled, but I'm sure their lawyers also told them that this is really nothing. This is something that we can win. They went and they lost and over 5 million.
7.3.
7.3,
Wow.
But they ended up paying about 5 million, and even they're supposed to share the royalties of that song 50% with the estate. So it's like you've literally worked for this person. You get it? You know, so it's very important that for us as an industry, I don't know how long we are going to be a growing industry.
Right.
You understand? And we need to put things in place. Especially the elders in the room. When some of these things are happening, it's very important that, you know, you are the artist manager of this artist. He's probably coming to do a song. Like, what is really the difficulty in having some type of, you know, engagement?
Right.
You get it?
So, Elorm, I'm coming to you with what role do you suppose that, because Hammer is the one who did the record, and then there's Manche as well, and how usually these things happen. I'll come to that. But Kofi, tell me, do you think it was okay for Manche to directly tweet at Drake to say, "This is my thing"?
No. For me, I think that was all wrong. It makes the case sound very foolish. You understand? It's like, okay, if even Drake, his team has seen this, and maybe they are trying to take some remedial measures towards it. Now there's a third party also making some type of noise. You know, it just confuses the whole situation. I think this could have been done in the background. I don't know whether they tried it and it didn't work. That's why he had to come out like that. But whatever it is, like I said, when they are elders, Hammer will obviously be a person that, you know, both of them, you know, can try and have a sit together, you know, and I personally don't think this was supposed to come in the public domain. Whatever misunderstanding should have gone on backstage. Bravo has already sued. Why haven't you sued up till now? That's the big question. Why haven't you sued up till now? And also you wait for Bravo to take this step then before.
And also what do you suppose maybe Bravo should have not seek permission but should have informed maybe Manche, maybe Hammer, that, oh, this is what's happening, I'm actually going to sue this guy? Do you think that information was necessary? I mean, this is my song, I decide what I do with it, type of situation.
Okay, so in all of this, I am personally waiting to hear Hammer himself speak.
Right.
Because I've not, if he has done that, anything. I have not, yes. But I'm waiting to hear Hammer himself speak or make certain statements around this whole conversation. Then I know where exactly I'll be heading to with my next comment on this topic, because he was the one who produced the record. And I had Hammer personally tell me that, oh, that was some years back, about 5 or 7 years back. He told me that, oh, it was actually Manche's voice. So I was very much aware before even these things were coming up today. I knew it was Manche's voice. So perhaps let's wait and see what Hammer will come and say.
What that perspective
before.
It could be that maybe there was some form of engagement with him and Manche based on him bringing him into the studio to voice that. So I've not heard from Hammer, so I can't make any pronouncement. It will be difficult
for you
on my part to make any pronouncement until he comes out and say, oh, maybe it was on a brotherly level, or there was some form of financial exchange, or bartered, whatever.
You don't know it.
So we have to know who actually owns the song in terms of the copyright, who actually owns that. Then we can proceed from there.
Okay, so
these are legal issues too as well.
We're going to move on to the next story, but before that, explain something to us. Give us a little education. How do these things work? So, for instance, if I have a song and Kofi does something for me on the song, can I buy him out? Can I pay him outright and say
it's allowed?
Don't ever come to me about the song.
It's allowed
again.
Yes.
So he states his price and I pay him and we are done.
It's a two-way.
Okay.
Number one, like what you're just saying. Okay, Kofi comes in. I'm like, okay, I want your services for this project, and I'm paying you X or Y amount. So if it's agreed between us, I pay you off. Later on, if the song blows or whatever happens with it, he has no business with that because that is my copyrighted content.
Right.
Then there's another way. Oh, come and do this thing for me in studio. I actually cater for your studio fee, your transport, and your service as well. But again, I give you a percentage split on the record.
Okay.
Which all these things comes in the split sheet.
Right.
So if the song is making $1 million, he's due 1 or 2% or 5%. He knows that there's a channel that he will still be enjoying these royalties forever or for a certain period of time. So either way is allowed. So it depends on how you engage who is coming to work for you.
Right.
If I'm bringing a keyboardist or a bass guitarist and I'm saying, all right, I'm just paying you outright and that's it. Everything I own it 100%, and we agree on that. But what is the evidence of documentation? Even if it's verbal, it's an agreement. If it's written to, it's an agreement. So what was the agreements that was done before these things were done?
But in a case where nothing is said, Okofi, you are my guy. Charlie, I'm doing something. Come and help me. No conversations about nothing. We're cool people. You know what I mean? And to be fair, I would do the same thing. If I lent you my voice for free because you're my buddy, and I saw that now you're making money off of what I lent my voice, I would also want something because send me kakra.
Yes,
or it's not a fair.
If there's evidence that you said, "Oh, Charlie, make I do for you," and you were not expecting anything in return, so why make a U-turn now and say that you want to take something? If there's evidence of that statement,
if there's evidence that you have actually
you are not doing anything,
I don't think that there's
you are not doing anything.
There's any.
If out of free will or generosity,
some people say, "Yeah, baby, me one why baby." Me nim say 10 million level.
I know that's why.
I feel me say 10 million level.
So that would have to depend on the discretion of the person who now owns the song, how he's going to deal with you.
Whether let me compensate you or do something about it, but you can't force.
That would be the fair position. We also have to know that I think Bravo has copyrighted the song in New York Asset now. I think that was what I read in the statement. So for now, per what we know, I don't know whether you are supposed to copyright things there and copyright them here. I don't know what the situation is. Yeah, but he has copyrighted it, so the record is more or less in his name. So I'll think that they in the absence of us hearing from Hammer or the other parties, because I've not heard from Tiny also, in the absence of that, I think I'm going with what is in the public domain.
Oh, there's Tiny in the mix.
There's Tiny. He has spoken.
Is
No, I'm talking about like his points on the issue.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, because all of them are stakeholders when it comes to the song, but Bravo is the one who has sued. So I would expect that, okay, they would have a background, sit together. If even it's in the wrong in a certain way, they'll have a background, sit together. They can come to certain terms and agreements. If this goes through, this is how we are going to go about it. I think that would be the way to go about it.
All right, so this is Sun Up on Showbiz TV. Sun Up Bulletins. We're breaking down, the issues or the headlines that have been making the rounds in the world of entertainment. Be sure to add your voice. We would love to hear from you and what you make of the discussions we have on here. Send us a WhatsApp to 0503 951 006. That's 0503 951 006. We would love absolutely to hear from you. Also, we're going to open the phone lines so that you can phone us in a bit. In the meantime, EL is back in the news. clearly he's back
back.
because now no, he's in the middle of
Shop
everything.
life.
He's shopping life. He did say that you know, he has no issues with international artists sampling his music. He spoke in an interview and said that if an international artist samples his song, he would reach out to them to inquire if they have made provisions for compensation or if they have contacted anyone from his team regarding the matter. He further explained that he's not interested in suing anybody and believes that there are processes to address such issues. He says, and I quote, "But I'm not going to sue anybody. I'm not interested in that. I don't need to sue anybody, but there are always processes that have to be undertaken to address these situations." He, however, disclosed that he was sued 4 years ago for sampling the song Efa Ohube. He emphasized that he knows what it feels like to be sued and wouldn't want anyone to go through that experience. So, yeah, there we have it. He says that, you know, reach out to your team and ask.
Like I was saying, that there's an agency internationally that represents these things.
Yeah.
Locally, which agency or which body represents us in these things? Do we have any? Maybe, I don't know.
Probably supposed to be Gambia.
Yeah, yeah.
They are not, from what I heard, they are not supposed to do that.
Okay.
Right.
So why are we not having one?
Yeah.
In Ghana.
Okay.
That's the big question. Why
Good
are we not
question.
having one? Even if there is, how transparent is the system?
Yeah.
With these international bodies, you can even have back-end logins and know what exactly is going on. But I bet any Ghanaian artist who is taking royalties from our system here, do they have access to these things and know the detailed information?
No.
I'm asking a question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big question.
So that I don't want anybody to come and cut this set and put it on social media and say, I am saying this. I'm only asking a question.
There are questions.
Do we have a system that is very transparent enough for you to know the number of streams or royalties you are due per play that is giving you X or Y amount?
Yeah.
Do we have that transparent system? I'm not sure there is one.
Yeah.
So why are we not having it? Why is our system not so viable for people to know? If you go on Spotify, the number of streams that you have, you can quantify it into what you are due, Apple Music and all of that. And our collective societies here in Ghana, why are we not having that system?
Yeah.
For it to be checked, how are they operating? How are they educating us to even know?
Yeah.
Maybe I could be the one who is on TV saying the wrong things because I am not aware.
Yeah.
How are they educating us enough to know?
Right. Kofi, sampling, is it an artistic expression? You know, it's you find inspiration in something and you want to express it in a different way.
Yeah.
What do you suppose sampling is?
For me, sampling is everything in music. You understand? Even when it comes to whole genres are created based on sample. When you look at hip hop,
Every genre is created out of
sampling
something.
jazz, sampling blues. That is how samples are created.
Yeah.
I talked about Stealing Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. That is actually how every creative, if you're a creative, you know that you borrow ideas.
Oh, yes.
But you try to make it your own.
Yeah.
But it's very important that when you borrow those ideas, you are able to give credit to who credit is due.
Right.
You know, there's actually a thin line when it comes to blurry lines, the Pharrell versus what do you call it, Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
The song title was Blurry Lines. When it comes to that, people were talking about whether it's just an inspiration or it's actually a sample. There are actually questions when it comes to some of those things. And the bizarre lines that could be drawn where people now feel like, okay, I can't take inspiration from here. I can't take, like, you know, those are some of the after effects of some of these rulings.
Right.
You know, but for me, I think sampling, I don't like it when people try to make an artist lesser because he sampled a song that they know. You understand? You know, most of the time, some of these songs actually do get better with the samples. Some even newer audience do not even know the original is the sample that the person knows.
Yeah.
So you hear that song, then you go back and then you realize that
there's an original.
Yeah, it's an original. You have people sampling. I mean, Nas sampling Feles. What do you call it? Gentleman.
Yeah.
You understand? You probably have not heard Gentleman before, but now you go back. I heard Manifest and One Love's Gentleman. That was what actually took me to Fela to go and listen to Fela's Gentleman because I'm not of that generation.
Yeah.
And so sampling actually does help music a lot. So no one should frown on sampling. That is how artists actually come up with inspiration to go into their creative.
And Elorm, let me ask you, this hasn't got to do with music, but I think over the weekend, no, over the weekend, I think 2 nights ago, this TikToker, Wesley Kessie, he did a birthday photo shoot.
Okay, Uti.
And I think this morning or last night or in the afternoon, I saw that Uti came to say that, this is my photographer's intellectual property, because she asked me to do this pose and she came up with all of this. And you did the same thing and you didn't even credit, and we might sue you and stuff like that. So for things like photography, like poses and the artistic ideas behind it, I mean, so do people own rights to this as well?
Anything that is done creatively in our space now, I think has a lot of legal and copyright implications for that. Even if you take people's photos and use it without their permission, they can also actually sue you. So there are certain details. I'm not so much into the photography or videography, but I think the same as it happens in our side with the music world, on their side too, these are things that actually happen on that side too, especially if the person has already put out that same thing in public domain or on a platform that people can actually access, and you are taking it verbatim, like without crediting them. I think there's the system allows you to actually get into some legal battle with them.
And then for me, I would like to go back to EL situation. You know, sometimes I feel life is not just red and green. It's not just black and white. Sometimes there are some nuances that he would, I would say never to what he's saying, that he would never sue anyone.
He might get into a situation
because you don't just go to the person and try to iron these things out with the person. The person would say that, yes, I'm giving you this amount of money. You get, there are some people who won't even accept that they have actually used your this thing. So you would now have to take that extra step to try and get some resolution to the situation. So for me, as an artist, I feel like it is important that you protect your copyright, you protect the rights to your work, because that is what you're actually going to feed off. And we are in an ecosystem that doesn't really pay that much. Like he said, the royalty is not even coming that much. So now someone picks what is yours, the person tries to make something of it, and you are at the back end of it. You get. So we need to get to a place where the system is more viable. Songwriters are getting their royalty. People who are playing, I've heard certain bass guitarists complain about a song that has blown and they got nothing from it. They were in the studio playing the bass, but probably no one really recognizes. You get. So so for me, we need to create a more viable system where some of these things are catered for. So the business end of the music should be as important as the entertainment value of it.
It's very important. Okay, so we're going to go for a quick break, but before that, shouts going out to Flory Roberts. Always gives me a product for my makeup, and Flory Roberts is having a pop-up on May Day. She's giving away heavily discounted products on makeup cosmetics. So be sure to pass by Flory Roberts. It's in East Legon on the Boundary Road, Azida Plaza, opposite Vidai Cafe. Be sure to go by there and stock up on your makeup products. That's happening on May Day. That's Flory Roberts. We're going to go for a break. When we return, we're going to George Quay talking about celebrities in Ghana. Do stay tuned.
Sweet, but your love is sweeter.
We promise you an exhilarating time span of delight on Afro Section. Your world's about to get rocked with the finest visual playlist of Afro hit songs across the continent.
We know we fun like me. We know we fresh like me. We know we hot like me.
Your satisfaction is a surefire thing, so just loosen up and drift into an Elorm of multifarious Afro music on Shobiz TV.
I'm protected by Jah Almighty Father. They can see we from afar.
I am your party giver, Kathy Brown.
Shobiz TV, Beyond Music.
Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New hopes, new dreams, new ways. Open up my heart and I'm gonna do my part and make this a positively beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Let's make this so wonderful. Let's make this so powerful. Let's make this a beautiful day. Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New hopes, new dreams, new ways. Open up my heart and I'm gonna do my part and make this a positively beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Let's make this so wonderful. Let's make this so powerful. Let's make this a beautiful day. Early in the morning, it's the dawn.
Welcome back. This is Sun Up on Showbiz TV. My name is Natalia and I'm loving your company this morning. If you're watching me on television, kudos to you. But if you're not, let me tell you about the Showbiz TV app, which is on Android. The Showbiz TV app is on Android. What you have to do is you have to download the Showbiz TV app on Android and you get to watch us on your phones 24/7 live. Everything that's happening on here is equally happening on television. So be sure to, download the app, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody that the Showbiz TV app is on Android. That is how you get to watch us live. Be sure to download. Also, we're live on Facebook and on YouTube at Showbiz TV. That's on Facebook and on YouTube. You also should follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Showbiz TV on Instagram and on Twitter. Remember, Showbiz is spelt without the W. So it's SHOBIZ or BIZ. SHOBIZ. That's Showbiz TV on Instagram, on Twitter. Follow us, like, share everything that we do on there. Now, let me tell you about the voiceover masterclass that's happening in the month of May. So in the month of May, the 4 weekends in May, the voiceover masterclass is coming on. You're going to learn the basics about doing voiceovers, how to record by yourself in your home, how to edit by yourself, how to have a finished product, and also how to market what you do. So do well to join the voiceover masterclass happening in the month of May. If you want further details, call 0246 150 395. That's 0246 150 395. And I will be the one teaching you how to do all of that in the month of May. So back in the studio, we're talking about George Quay. Now, George Quay is furious. He's heated. He says that celebrities in Ghana are lazy. He says, and I quote, "I think artists are lazy when it comes to some things. They are lazy when it comes to things that destroy their brands or take food out of their mouths. We were in this country when the FDA told Ghanaian alcoholic beverage brands to go to Nigeria. We saw it happen. Brands from here went to Nigeria to get actors to advertise, and they came here to play for them. Then the Gaming Commission came with the law to ban them from promoting gaming, and these artists were still quiet. He accused them of being sluggish and unconcerned about events that damage their brands. And he's talking about, you know, them not discouraging impersonators from profiting off their fame by imitating them. He additionally underlined that Ghanaian celebrities lack initiative when it matters most and are unconcerned with what goes on in their immediate surroundings. He said, and I quote, very soon Ghana Water Company will tell them if they turn on their taps, they will be banned and they will be quiet. They don't care. Ghanaian celebrities never step up when it's really important, he noticed. So that's George Quay. He's fuming, says, but you people, you know, and I'm sure this is coming in the wake of the doppelganger season that we have all, you know, seen.
Yeah.
And Adam talked about the fact that the media and the bloggers are very hypocritical people who will actually ask the original artists for money to promote them. They are freely promoting these, you know, impersonators or lookalikes.
Okay.
Free.
Okay.
You know, and Adam had a problem with that. Like, what kind of country is this?
Yeah.
Now George Quay is here saying that also the celebrities have to rise, you know, and I find that in rising, it doesn't help, and this is just my opinion, I don't think it helps when one individual rises by themselves and another individual rises by themselves. It really won't get anywhere.
Yeah.
If there was any form of unity,
Yeah.
and we came together to say we are here unified and we don't want ABC, I feel like that kind of gets you the attention you're looking for. First of all, Elorm, tell me, you think George Quay is right in his comments?
He has a very valid point. In all of this, what is Musica doing? What is the role of Musica? Because that's supposed to be the musicians' representative body.
Okay.
And they are supposed to have the voice and the power to do these things, and they are not doing it for the artists. So you see, over the years, these are some of the things that has actually discouraged a lot of people belonging to Musica.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm no more part of Musica.
Okay.
I've been part of
Yeah.
Musica for over 10 years. And when I see things like this, they are supposed to go in and talk for the artist. Even within the artistry or the artist space, there's no united front. So it's like you are fighting a single war yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
How far can you go as a single person,
Yeah.
or just a few of you? And this taxation coming in, there's a lot more coming in. There's a lot more coming in whereby creatives, they'll be taking money off creatives. You see now some of the, is it GRA, chasing artists to pay bills and all of that. But industry-wise, how is the industry catering for creatives? Even royalties.
Yeah.
A
What
lot
are you
of,
going to take?
yes. How much are they earning? What's the stream of income apart from you blowing to play shows and make money? What are the other sources of income for the artists?
Yeah.
Is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
But we are the ones being taxed the most. I think we are just not angry enough in this country. Angry not as in being violent, but angry to make sure that we fight systems to be
Demand
fixed.
the right thing.
Yes, demanding the right things. So George Quay is absolutely right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I know you've spoken about Musica. What role do you suppose Ministry of Creative Arts,
and
Culture, what role do they play?
Musica has to take that front lead.
Right.
If Musica were to be that powerful, they would go to the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, or the Creative Arts, and tell them, yo, we need this done for our people.
Right. So the initiative has to come from Musica.
Yes. So it doesn't look like it's an individual trying to fight a certain cause. It's a united
Right.
front, because that is the musicians' representative body. But it's not happening. How can Edem go alone and fight for that? How can Shatawale alone go and fight for that? How can Samini, Stonebwoy, or any of them go and fight? No.
Right.
It's the representative body that's supposed to do that on behalf of all the artists.
Right.
Yeah.
That are members.
Yes.
Or all the artists
Even
in
if
general.
they are not, even
It
if they
does
are,
affect
even
everyone
even
else.
if they are not members, go and fight for them. So if I see you fighting for me,
It
I'll
will
have
give me the urge
yes
to want
to belong to that society. But if I'm not seeing all these things, why should I belong?
Why should I join?
I think the last thing Musica did that we all saw was issue a statement to call for a
the high
ceasefire
life issue. Yeah.
between JW Ambule
Is
and
that
KOD.
is that not just for the internet? Realistically, on the ground, what are they
steps
doing?
have they taken?
Yeah, that's just for the internet. That's why I said that's the last thing we saw, from Musica. We're told that the elections are coming up soon, so we'll just see what happens. Kofi, talk to me.
Yeah. I mean, I can look at this from a lot of levels, because I feel what's Abuaje.
It's fine. It's fine.
George Quay.
What George Quay is talking about is something that is a reflection of our whole society. It's
Right.
not just the music. You understand? Ghanaians aren't angry enough when it comes to a lot of situations, and sometimes it boils down to our upbringing or how we are socialized. We have a system where power triumphs over truth and principle.
Right.
So we run a big man system. So if a big man is going this way, no matter who you are, no matter the numbers of people who are against that way is going to prevail. We've had examples in this country where we even had that a president said a particular judgment that shouldn't be paid, it was still paid. You understand? We had a situation where we Ghanaians were literally, everyone was angry about e-levy. It still happened.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So there is that, in psychology we call something learned helplessness. So that is something like, let me just explain it briefly. Let's say you put a rat or a mouse in a box and you cover it. The mouse tries to get out so many times, it's not able to get out. The chances are that when you finally open the box, the mouse will not try to get out again. The mouse,
they're already used to.
They are used to that, being in a stressful situation, trying to get out of it, and it doesn't happen. So that is what most of us have actually learned. We have learned that most things in this country are going to remain the same.
Yeah.
And if you try to push against it, people are going. You are going to be at the back end of it. People are going to be vindictive against you. They are going to paint you political, all sort of things. But the most important thing that we are supposed to move to is what Beenie has talked about, which is we are supposed to have Musica doing this work. Musica is supposed to play an active role, especially when it comes to the lobbying of some of these things, because that is what unions actually do. Even when it comes to the corporate world, people are part of unions. The union's responsibility is to table the concerns of the group and put it out. I don't think the individuals have to even be quote unquote united, but they have to be united for the cause,
For the
particular cause.
We don't necessarily need to be friends.
We don't have to be friends.
Yeah.
But the common goal, the common agenda that we want to pursue, is what we are supposed to look out to. And I feel the viability of the industry is also a part of this type of situation, because not enough people are earning money from some of these things. You have probably maybe 10 or 20 artists who are probably going to get endorsement deals, but there are over thousands of artists. There are songwriters, there are people who are playing instruments, all of those things. They are not earning any or any royalties, anything. They are not getting endorsement deals. Why would he be interested in
fighting the cause?
Any type of fight? You understand? The numbers are very important. You understand? Because if you have, let's say maybe a Sako there, a Shatawale, these people, they are being taken care of. You understand me? But if you have people who are at the back end, who are not earning as much, and they think these are the avenues that they can use to earn a lot more, and they think these avenues are viable, they will fight for it. We talk about mutual benefit. If there's some benefit in it for you, you try to go. I don't think a lot of artists feel there's any level of benefits for them in some of these things. And you're supposed to realize that even when it comes to these bigger artists, okay, if he doesn't get an endorsement deal from an alcoholic company in Ghana, he can get it somewhere else.
Yeah.
They are big enough to be able to work with other brands outside of this ecosystem. There's a loophole for them.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't really be interested. They can still go around it. You have Manifest working with Martell.
Yeah.
You have Manifest working with Hennessy. He was even on the Hennessy Cypher.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's not in this jurisdiction,
Yeah.
but there is a loophole.
Yeah.
So why would he be interested in
fighting the cause for
you get
local?
He's being taken care of.
Yeah.
So I think if the industry becomes more viable, a lot of the active players feel that there's a certain level of benefits in it for them.
Yeah.
They will try to, make it work. I like that the conversation is actually moving on from the look-alike saga. I don't think the look-alike pose that much of a threat. I just think the media is just hyping them so much.
I disagree with you.
Okay, but I feel in other places look-alikes have existed. They have actually been able to solve a certain problem in other jurisdictions. We have people who are doing skits. They use look-alike for some of those.
It's fine.
You understand? Yeah.
But not using the person's creative work to actually plagiarize them and take food off their
but
table.
how much of that is happening here?
The thing is, you see, people are trying to stop it from degenerating into that.
Okay.
I think that's where we are now.
Okay.
So,
So it's like cutting them before it even grows.
Should we wait till it gets to that level? Then we are like, oh, we saw this coming, but we've been quiet. Just as you said that in your earlier submission, that okay, we people become fed up. That okay, it's already happening. So we should not encourage that. What is wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
What is right is right. So I think some of the concerns raised by people on this look-alike issue, they are genuine concerns which should be considered.
Yeah.
Medical was saying a lot the other day, but what he said previously was the only thing that people were working with was like, I don't mind if you look like me and trying to even mimic what I do, but use that as a platform to create your own niche and do something meaningful for yourself. Not come and eat in my creative space or my creative work. That was what he was saying, but a lot of people took that out of context. They were not even paying attention to that. They were making reference to him earlier saying something out of vituperation.
Okay.
So let's find a way.
Let's find a way to go about it.
Yes, I'm here. I look like Kendrick. But when he was in town, there are even images of me and Kendrick flying about. But I didn't go out there to say, oh, I'm Kendrick look-alike. I want to act like him. And he's one of my favorite rappers as well. I wouldn't do that, but let's look into these things properly.
Yeah. So for me, I'm not saying the look-alike thing is right. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. What I'm trying to make is that it's being blown out of proportion. But I understand the point that you are making, that you need to cut it, nip it in the bud before it even tries to grow out of proportion. But I feel it's the media that is giving them a certain level of attention.
That's
and
where Adam's words come into play. That we need to respect. Adam said, because when you're coming to me as a creator, as an artist, and you need my services, I'll charge you for what I'll do for you. And let me talk for myself.
Okay.
Like these trending issues, this look-alike, I won't post them. Everybody knows Elorm, Beenie won't post that. But Adam is making reference to some of these people who actually will charge you for services, but in the case of these look-alikes, they are posting them for free, giving them leveraging. And it's painful if you're an artist who went to pay an influencer or a blogger or a PR to do a campaign for you, and you are paying this much. And these people haven't even done anything, and they're being run on same platforms for free.
For free.
It's painful.
Ahead
that's
of
where
you, the original.
The originator. So that's where Adam is also coming from, which also needs to be considered.
So for me, the whole issue is actually the media. How the media is actually dealing with the situation. But I would like to take it from Famiye's perspective, where he said his look-alike, he doesn't really have a problem till it gets to the point where you are trying to use his song or playing shows for him. I think that is where the issue for me comes in. When someone, your intellectual property, your hard-earned reputation or image, the person is trying to pass off as you, the person is trying to impersonate you, that is criminal.
I saw one of them doing that.
So that one should be totally frowned upon.
Right.
You understand? But some of them could be, and sometimes I feel with some of the lookalikes even, it's people who tell them you look like this. I was reading a story of someone who was said to look like, what's his name? The Pirates of the Caribbean guy.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. people said he looked like he didn't even know Johnny Depp. You know, then he now starts to watch Johnny Depp's videos, and now he tries to actually put on his regalia and everything. Like sometimes people who say, oh, you look like this person, you look like this person, and your consciousness, you don't really know. So I think it's the media that is giving them that leverage. If the media stops giving them that leverage, we'll not hear of them again, and the issue will be
Quick
dead.
one, we're about wrapping up. Tell me, do you suppose that these lookalikes can be useful for something to the original artist?
Oh yeah, they can be. They
In what ways can they be useful?
I mentioned stunts.
Doubles.
Yeah, doubles. Some of those things. They can, because maybe you're an artist. Let's say maybe a skit maker wants your service for something. You probably don't have that time for that. You can engage the lookalike. The lookalike can do this. There'll be an agreement. Some percentages can be taken. It's done at other places. So I think it's something. There's a certain level of economic viability in what they are doing, but it has to be done right. It has to be protected. That no one's intellectual property or image.
Because I know in a lot of blockbuster movies, there are more than 3-4 people playing Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know that. There are more than 3-4 people playing one person. But you would never know. Because they look strikingly. You know, it's just
even some of the sex scenes, their body doubles. You understand?
So I feel like maybe we can start looking into that.
Place, but you know the type of country we live in.
They should just do it well. That's all. If it's done right.
If it's done right, it will make sense. Alrighty, I will say, and shout's going out to my producer. Thank you for putting these two men together for me. I have never been well balanced like this on this set. Thank you so much for the balance. Thank you, Elorm, for coming. I've enjoyed you. Yesterday, Obi was here, and when we're done, we took a picture, and my caption was, "You're easy, Obi." I enjoyed having you this morning, and people's mind bust. I'm like,
worry.
But what's wrong with this caption though?
They had ulterior motives.
It's coming from
So thank you guys for coming. I've really enjoyed you. And thank you for staying with us. Really enjoy your company. Don't you forget that on May Day, the Opinion Fufu Bazaar is happening at the forecourt of Opinion Radio. So if you're a fufu person, if you love fufu, I know people who eat fufu like 6-7 times every week. I don't know how they do it. But if this is you, why don't you come to the forecourt of Opinion Radio and TV and enjoy the Opinion Fufu Bazaar, which will be happening on May Day, which is a holiday. So you have the time to come with your family, children, your friends, just come together and enjoy some good fufu, and all kinds of soups will be there as well. Don't forget the side attraction is Ludu Owari Draft and many more. It's happening, of course, on May Day, which is the 1st of May. It's starting at 8 a.m. in Tiwono, Ushanapa, Ujare. You are there, ready to eat the fufu, the Opinion Fufu Bazaar. So here's where the forecourt of Opinion Radio, it's at the Nungwa Shell Filling Station or Market. That's the Nungwa Shell Filling Station or Market. For enquiries, do call 0541 472 072. That's 0541 472 072. Maybe you make fufu and you want to come and display your fufu. Be sure to call the number, that's 0541 472 072, and they will give you a stand so you can display your fufu as well. So this is where we draw the curtain. Shouts going out to the entire team of Shobiz TV. To Felicia, Sally Evans, to Lavina, shouts going out to Nicholas, to Augustus, who I forgot for a very long time until I saw him today. Like, guy, where did you come from? To Skyface Demigod. I think the most resourceful man in the building is Skyface. He can get you anything you want. Uhia bibi out there ko obesoto. He's the plug. Shouts going out to Captain Hooks, to Mr. Bento, to my producer Enig, my senior producer Enig. Shouts going out to Ahmed, to Abeku Tahir Sego, and shouts going out to who have I missed? To Champagne and to everybody else. You guys are simply amazing. Also, congratulations to our Muslim brothers and sisters for completing your fast. Tomorrow, they say this is not the big one. They say this is the chicken one. But still, we'll eat the chicken.
Inside.
We day inside. So congratulations to you. Monday is a holiday. Be sure to use your time effectively. And we'll catch you Tuesday morning between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Enjoy your long weekend. My name is Natalia.